it's insanity to think you're going to experience something new by doing the exact same thing,
Right.
right? And so I would think, what are the ways that you can make yourself a more compelling candidate? And so I think a mix of those things is what I've done, what I would suggest that someone who's kind of going it alone explore doing.
Well, now let's go to the second camp then. You are a person who's reached a level of status in your career where you are getting approached.
Mhm.
How do you know when something has come up that you need to pay attention to?
A couple of things. I think one is, who was the messenger? Do you know what I mean? Was it like some email listserv where they didn't know that they were sending it to me specifically? Is it some recruiter kind of cold calling, going through? Is it a lower level recruiter? I would try to think of like, where is this coming from, so that I understand whether it's at a level that it makes sense for me to be even considering. Because if you haven't presented it to me in a way that feels professional and compelling, it's unlikely that the job is going to be compelling enough for me, right? Because part of it for me is in how you're like bringing it to me, if that makes sense. Then I think one of the things I've been doing is I have a list. I have a must-haves list. And the cool thing about that is that in this scenario, if you've already got a job, then if you don't get this job, then you can still pay your bills, right? And so what I do is I ask for the things that I want, right? I'm upfront about it. Where instead of maybe doing it on the back end strategically, where I think, well, I'll ask for this after I feel like they really want me, right? I think in the scenario where I am being approached by people and wanting to see if it's worth it, I just ask for what I want. I want to understand what comp is. I want to understand location and flexibility. I want to understand, is there money for speaking engagements and different things? I want to understand, do I have a team? Will I have the budget to build a team? And asking for all of those things, right? Because I think, why leave if you're not going to be getting some, if not all, of what you feel like you're missing in the current role?
Right.
And I tend to find, what I have tended to find, and this goes back to the negotiation, very rarely have I been in a situation, if at all, where I've asked for something and someone said no. That doesn't mean that they give me a full yes. Do you know what I mean? But I'd like to say that, like, anything north of a no is a yes. Do you know what I mean? So we're moving the ball forward. These are incremental wins, right? So maybe I don't get whatever, $100,000. This sounds so tone deaf in a way. A signing bonus, but do they give me a $20,000 signing bonus and help me with relocation expenses, right? So really ask for what you want. And again, do it in a way that's thoughtful, where you're thinking about what's in the best interest of the company as well as me, and try to get as much as you can, in my mind. In that scenario, the scenario where you don't need the job and people are coming after you, I think you should just make sure that the next thing captures more of the things that you want in your like life work balance than you have currently.